I'm here at the studio. I'm just going to be working on this, it's a 36 by 36 oil on canvas, fox hunting scene, fox dogs, foxhounds, I guess I should say, and obviously a rider. And I'm not going to really try to do a lot of talking. I'm really going to try to work on this. As you can see, I've got a couple of reference photos over here, color and also black and white for value study. And then this is actually sort of a second take of an earlier piece I had done. Same subject, a little different composition. But we're going to kind of get into it and just sort of see what happens. I'll try to maybe do a little bit of narrative as I go along. This is the way that I approach every painting. I just kind of try to get my darks established at some point. Dark is dark, and then I'll also want to try to establish what my lightest value will be, so that I know to stay within those ranges. One thing that I have been asked before, a lot of artists, you'll see them, they use a lot of different brushes, one for their lights, one for their darks. And I do some of that, but a lot of times I'll just kind of get into a painting and I'll find a brush I'm comfortable with, and I'll just stick with it. I'll gradually get into the painting more and more, and adjust my values in certain areas. A lot of people who've seen me paint before will recognize that, this is how I tone the canvas. I used to tone it with a kind of neutral, umberish sort of color, maybe a raw umber or a burnt umber, kind of a light wash. But I've started where I'll do these washes of various colors, just very thin watercolor almost type washes. And you know, they come into play later on in the painting. A lot of times I'll let some of those areas stay exposed. And there's really no foundation behind it other than it's just sort of the style that I've evolved into. And I think that's something that, you know, I'm going to talk much. That's something that every young artist needs to really try to pay attention to and be you know, try to find that signature style that will be your own. I don't think there's anything in the world wrong with, you know, emulating seasoned artists as far as to learn how to move paint around and things like that, but you just don't want to find yourself copying anyone too closely. You know, just you're doing you and them a disservice. But take what you can. And then somehow figure out how you're gonna